सो हेलो माय डियर स्टूडेंट्स, आई वेलकम यू ऑल टू माय यूट्यूब चैनल ए मोहम्मद स्टोरी सर्कल। आज के इस वीडियो में हम लोग आपके फर्स्ट फ्लाइट इंग्लिश बुक चैप्टर नंबर 7 ग्लिम्पसेस ऑफ इंडिया के कुछ एडिशनल क्वेश्चन आंसर को देखने वाले हैं। तो चलिए शुरू करते हैं। इसमें जो पहला टाइप दिया गया है वो है शॉर्ट क्वेश्चन आंसर का, जिन्हें हमें 30 to 40 वर्ड्स में लिखने होते हैं और पर क्वेश्चन का मार्क्स होता है 2। पर क्वेश्चन कैरी 2 मार्क्स। फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन है, what did the baker do first once he reached a house? Answer: the baker first greeted the lady of the house by saying good morning. He then placed the basket on the vertical bamboo and delivered the loaves to the servants. Second question, how did the baker make his entry? Answer: the baker used to enter with the jingling sound of his specially made bamboo stick. His one hand supported the basket on his head and the other banged the bamboo on the ground. Question number 3. How do we get to know that the makers of bread still exist? Answer: the narrator states that the eaters of loaves might have vanished, but the makers are still there. He further says that those age-old, time-tested furnaces still exist, and the fire in the furnaces had not yet been extinguished. Question number 4. What is the importance of breads for the Goans, or why was the baker's furnace essential in a traditional Goan village? And the answer is, different kinds of breads are important during the different occasions. Bolinhas had to be prepared during Christmas and other festivals. The mothers used to prepare sandwiches on the occasion of their daughter's engagement, so the baker's furnace was essential. Question number 5. Describe the dress of the bakers. The bakers had a peculiar dress earlier known as the kabai. It was a one-piece long frock reaching down to the knees. Question number 6. Kurgis are hospitable by nature. Explain. Kurgis are a proud race of martial men and beautiful women. They are very hospitable and entertain their guests by relating stories of bravery of their sons and fathers. Question number 7. Why are the people of Coorg known as descendants of the Arabs? And the answer is, the theory of the people of Coorg as descendants of the Arabs draws support from the long black coat with an embroidered waist belt worn by the Kodabus, known as kufiya. It resembles the kufiya worn by the Arabs and the Kurds. Question number 8. Why is Kurg called the land of rolling hills? Answer: Kurg is called the land of rolling hills because it has a lot of hills and is itself a hill station. The hills seem to roll down in a panoramic view. Question number 9. Describe the natural beauty of Kurg. Kurg is situated midway between Mysore and the coastal town of Mangalore in the Karnataka state. It is a beautiful region of rolling hills and lush green rainforests. It is famous for coffee, spices, and wildlife. Question number 10. Describe the wildlife of Kurg. Large freshwater fish abound in these waters. A large freshwater fish called mahashir abound in these waters, as we know from the story. Kingfishers dive for their catch. Squirrels and langurs drop partially eaten fruit and enjoy the splash and ripple effect. Elephants enjoy bathing in the river. So this is how we can describe the wildlife of Kurg. Question number 11. The people of Kurg have a tradition of courage and bravery. How has it been recognized in modern India? And the answer says, Kurgis are a proud race of martial men and beautiful women. They are very hospitable and entertain their guests by relating stories of bravery of their sons and fathers. Kurg soldiers are brave, Coorg regiment is one of the most decorated ones in the Indian army. Coorgis are the only people who are permitted to carry firearms without a license. I mean, Coorgis are the people जिन्हें भारत की सरकार, इंडियन गवर्नमेंट ये अलाउ करती है कि वो गन को, वो पिस्तौल को अपने पास रख सकते हैं, भले ही उसके पास उनका लाइसेंस हो या ना हो, राइट। तो इस तरह से कुर्गी को भारत सरकार मानती है कि ये जो लोग होते हैं वो काफ़ी बहादुर होते हैं। ये किसी को अगर मारते हैं तो उसका जेन्युइन रीज़न होगा, अदरवाइज़ ये किसी को चोट पहुंचाने वाले लोगों में से नहीं है। इंडियन गवर्नमेंट इतना भरोसा करती है कुर्गी लोगों पे। क्वेश्चन नंबर 12, व्हाट आइडिया ऑफ कुर्ग डू यू फॉर्म? What opportunities does Kurg offer to a tourist? Or Kurg is a tourist's paradise. Discuss with reference to the extract from Glimpses of India. And the answer says Kurg is the smallest district of Karnataka, situated midway between Mysore and the coastal town of Mangalore. It is a beautiful region of rolling hills and lush green rainforests. It is famous for coffee, spices, and rainforests. It is also famous for hospitality, valor, wildlife and adventurous spots. So इस तरह से ये जो कूर्ग है वो टूरिस्ट का एक पैराडाइज, यात्रियों के लिए एक जन्नत की तरह से माना जाता है, पर्यटकों का एक स्वर्ग कहा जाता है। Why did Rajavir visit Assam? Rajavir had been invited by his classmate called Pranjal, who was from Assam, to visit his home during the summer vacation. How does Rajavir describe the tea garden at Dekhiya Badi? And the answer says, on both sides of the gravel road were acres and acres of neatly pruned tea bushes. It was the second sprouting period. Women wearing plastic aprons were plucking new tea leaves and putting them in the bamboo baskets. Question number 15. Describe the magnificent views of the tea estate with reference to the lesson tea from Assam. And the answer says the tea bushes were spread like a sea against the backdrop of densely wooded hills. Amidst the orderly rows of tea bushes were doll-like figures plucking tea leaves. Question number 16. Describe the scenery that Rajavir saw as soon as the train pulled out of the station. When the train moved ahead, there were huge fields full of green plantations. Rajavir had never seen so much greenery before. He called it a magnificent view. The bushes were spread like a sea against the backdrop of densely wooded hills. तो इस तरह के सीन्स राजवीर ने देखे थे जब ट्रेन स्टेशन से आगे बढ़ी थी। How are tea pluckers different from other farm laborers? I mean, खेतों में काम करने वाले दूसरे किसानों से, दूसरे मजदूरों से ये जो टी प्लकर्स हैं, चाय की पत्तियों को तोड़ने वाले लोग हैं, ये अलग कैसे हैं? ये क्वेश्चन पूछा गया है। The tea pluckers are different from other farm laborers. The women plucking tea leaves in the tea gardens look like dolls. They wear plastic aprons and carry baskets at their backs to put tea leaves in them. How can you say that tea was first drunk in China? आप ये बात कैसे कह सकते हैं कि चाय को सबसे पहले चाइना में पिया गया था? So we have answer. There is an ancient legend. Legend means story. There is an ancient legend about the discovery of tea. A Chinese emperor had the habit of drinking boiled water. One day, a twig from the fire fell into the pot in which water was being boiled. It gave a delicious flavor to the water. It is said that those were the tea leaves, and that was the first tea. It is thus, though, that tea was first drunk in China. So इस तरीके से हम कह सकते हैं कि चाय को सबसे पहले चाइना में पिया गया था. Question number 19. What information was given by Pranjal's father to Rajavir about Assam tea estate? Answer. He was the manager of a tea garden in Upper Assam. He showed Pranjal and Rajavir the acres of tea bushes, all neatly pruned to the same height. Groups of women pluckers with bamboo baskets were plucking the newly sprouted leaves. Question number 20. What was the Indian legend about the discovery of tea? अब भारतीय कहानी क्या कहती है चाय के डिस्कवरी के बारे में? आई मीन टोटल 2 लेजेंड्स हमारी स्टोरी में दिए गए हैं कि चाय को किस तरीके से खोजा गया था. एक चाइनीज लेजेंड है और एक इंडियन लेजेंड है. अब ये इंडियन लेजेंड क्या है? एंड इंडियन लेजेंड गोज लाइक दिस कि भारतीय कहानी इस तरीके से बताती है या इस तरीके से शुरू होती है. वंस देयर वॉज अ बुद्धिस्ट ascetic बोधिधर्मा who used to feel sleepy during meditation. कि एक बार की बात है कि एक बुद्धिस्ट ascetic, एक बुद्धिस्ट मॉन्क या साधु थे जिनका नाम था बोधिधर्मा. वो जब भी मेडिटेशन करने बैठते थे, जब भी योगा करने बैठते थे, उन्हें नींद आने लगती थी. सो ही कट ऑफ हिज eyelids. तो इस तरीके से उन्होंने अपनी पलकों को, अपनी eyelids को काट कर फेंक दिया ताकि उन्हें नींद ना आए जब भी वो मेडिटेशन करें. देन 10 टी प्लांट्स ग्रीव आउट ऑफ द eyelids. उनके पलकों से बताया गया है कि 10 चाय के पौधे जो है ना वो उग गए. When the leaves of these plants were put in hot water, और जब इन प्लांट्स के पत्तों को गर्म पानी में डाला गया, एंड ड्रंक, और जब उन्हें पिया गया, दे banished sleep. तो उन लोग उस चीज़ ने, उस बॉइल्ड वाटर ने जिसमें टी के पत्ते डाले गए थे, उसने नींद को भगा दिया. तो ये है इंडियन स्टोरी जो कि एकदम ख़तरनाक वाला है. चाइनीज़ स्टोरी पे अगर थोड़े समय के लिए विश्वास किया भी जा सकता है, बट वी कैन नॉट ट्रस्ट ऑन द इंडियन स्टोरी, क्योंकि आपके पलकों से चाय की पत्ती उगने वाली नहीं है. अगर आप चाहें तो ट्राई कर सकते हैं घर पे, राइट? ऐसा मत करना. What made Rajavir amazed on the way? Rajavir was amazed to see the huge fields full of green plantations. There were vast green tea gardens on both sides of the road. The tall trees at the back of the gardens in the forest on the rolling hills looked beautiful. Okay, I'm sorry. Let's move further. Which tea is considered the best tea? Why? Assam tea is considered to be the best tea as it has the largest concentration of tea plantations in the world. The weather and environmental conditions are perfect here to grow tea plants. Who were Pranjal and Rajavir? Why were they going? Where were they going? यहाँ पे पूछा गया कि प्रांजल और राजवीर कौन थे और वे दोनों कहाँ पे जा रहे थे. Pranjal and Rajavir were friends. Pranjal belonged to Assam. He was studying in a school in Delhi. Rajavir was his classmate. Pranjal's father was the manager of a tea garden in Upper Assam. Pranjal invited Rajavir to visit his home during the summer vacation. Both of them traveled to Assam on a train. क्वेश्चन नंबर 24, और ये लास्ट क्वेश्चन होगा आपके शॉर्ट क्वेश्चन आंसर टाइप का. वेयर वॉज टी फर्स्ट ड्रंक? चाय को सबसे पहले कहाँ पिया गया था? व्हेन डिड टी कम टू यूरोप? It is believed that the tea was first drunk in China in 200 and in 2700 BC. Words like chai and chini are Chinese. Tea came to Europe in the 16th century. At first it was used more as a medicine than as a beverage. Beverage हम लोग सभी तरह के पेय पदार्थ को कहते हैं. पानी को छोड़कर पीने वाली जितनी भी चीज़ें हैं, चाहे वो अल्कोहल हो, बियर हो, कोई जूस हो, सभी को हम लोग बीवरेज कहते हैं. चाय हो, कॉफ़ी हो, पानी को छोड़कर पीने वाली सभी चीज़ों को हम लोग बीवरेज कहा जाता है. ओके, सो नाउ वी हैव लॉन्ग आंसर क्वेश्चन, और इन्हें हमें आंसर करना होता है 100 to 150 वर्ड्स, और यहाँ पे एक क्वेश्चन 8 नंबर के होते हैं. तो आप समझ सकते हैं ये कितने इंपॉर्टेंट है. सो फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन है, इंस्टेड ऑफ एंजॉइंग देयर चाइल्डहुड द चिल्ड्रन टुडे आर कीन टू एंटर एडल्टहुड. आफ्टर रीडिंग अबाउट ऑल द जॉयज दैट द ऑथर लूसियो रॉड्रिग्स हैड इन हिज चाइल्डहुड, डू यू थिंक सच अ कीननेस ऑन द पार्ट ऑफ चिल्ड्रन इज डिजायरेबल? इसका आंसर दिया है, आई डोंट थिंक दैट द कीननेस ऑफ द चिल्ड्रन दीज डेज टू एंटर एडल्टहुड is desirable. Children these days are in a hurry to enter adulthood and have access to technology. Due to this, they are learning things earlier than usual and getting matured beyond their age. Hence, they are losing out their childhood and missing the joys that it brings with it. As per my thinking, they should grow at a slow pace and enjoy their childhood to the fullest. Children who miss out on their childhood cannot be a complete adult. So, they should not hurry up to be an adult and grow at nature's pace. Question number 2. After reading the story, A Baker from Goa, do you think our traditions, heritage, values, and practices are the roots that nourish us? Why? Why not? Answer. A Baker from Goa highlights the importance of the traditional practice of making braids for every occasion and festival of the Goan people. This tradition continues even today. This shows how our traditional practices can keep us to our past and heritage. Traditional values shape our personality and also provide us emotional support. They enable us to face difficult situations and make us mentally strong. Traditional practices also have an impact on our behavioral pattern towards the other people in society. Question number 3. During our childhood in Goa, the baker used to be our friend, companion, and guide. What does this statement imply in relation to the character of the baker? 1 second. कहाँ से कहाँ चले गए लोग? Okay, so here is the answer. The statement tells us that the baker was a very respected person in Goan society because he would guide the children about good behavior when he mildly rebuked them for peeping into his basket and giving respect to the elders when he wished good morning to the lady of the house, etc. He was very informal with the children, and so the author considered him as a friend and companion. He was not simply a vendor interested in selling what he made. Thus, he was an important character in the Goan society of those days. Where is Coorg situated? What is it famous for? Kurg is the smallest district of Karnataka. It is also known as Kodabu. Kurg lies between the coastal town of Mangalore and Mysore. It is a very beautiful place. The writer says that it must have come from the kingdom of God. Kurg is famous for its coffee plantations, evergreen rainforests, and spices. 30% of this area is covered with the evergreen rainforest. The best season to visit this place is from September to March. The air is full of coffee flavor. What does the writer say about the people of Kurg? The writer says that the people of Kurg are independent and brave. They are of Greek or Arabic descent. According to a story, a part of Alexander's army did not return and was settled here. They married among the locals. This culture can be seen in the martial traditions, marriage, and religious customs. According to another theory, Kurg people are originated from the Arabs. It is evident from the long black coat worn by the people. It is like the kufiya worn by the Arabs and the Kurds. Kurgi homes have the tradition of hospitality. They are brave people. Their tales of valor are famous. The Kurg regiment is one of the most decorated in the Indian army. The first chief of the Indian army, General Karyappa, was a Kurgi. Even today, the Kodabus are the only people in India who are allowed to carry firearms without a license. What does the writer say about the natural beauty of Kurg? Kurg is situated in Karnataka, midway between Mysore and the coastal town of Mangalore. It looks like a piece of heaven. I think ये मिलता जुलता क्वेश्चन आप लोग खुद से देख लीजिएगा. Let's move ahead. What landscape did Rajavir notice while sitting in the train? Rajavir was fascinated by the scenic beauty of the place. There were vast green tea gardens on both sides of the road. The tall trees at the back of the gardens in the forest on the rolling hills looked beautiful. The women plucking tea leaves looked like dolls. On the way, he saw people drinking tea. He also saw an ugly building with the smoke coming out of its chimneys. Rajavir was received by Mrs. and Mr. Barua and was taken towards Dekhiabari tea estate. On both sides of the gravel road were acres and acres of neatly pruned tea bushes. It was the second sprouting period. Women were wearing plastic aprons and plucking new tea leaves and putting them in the bamboo basket on their backs. Question number 8 है long question answer का. Where were Pranjal and Rajavir going? What did Rajavir see when he looked out of the train on the way? I think इससे मिलता जुलता क्वेश्चन हमने कर लिया है. Question number 9 है What did Rajavir tell Pranjal about the discovery of tea? आई थिंक ये भी दोनों चीज़ें जैसे कि 2 स्टोरीज़ 2 लेजेंड्स के बारे में हमने बात किया, एक चाइनीज़ लेजेंड एक इंडियन लेजेंड, उसी के बारे में यहाँ पे बताया है. ये भी आप कर लीजिएगा, देख लीजिएगा. और यहाँ पे ये रहा सेल्फ असेसमेंट का. राइट, अब सेल्फ असेसमेंट करना है आपको. यहाँ पे एक एक्सट्रैक्ट दिया है. रीड द फॉलोइंग एक्सट्रैक्ट केयरफुली एंड आंसर द क्वेश्चंस दैट फॉलो. ये रहा एक्सट्रैक्ट, उसका ये रहा थोड़ा सा पार्ट, और इस एक्सट्रैक्ट के ऊपर बेस्ड ये सभी क्वेश्चंस हैं. इनको आपको करना होगा. ये रहा सेकंड एक्सट्रैक्ट, इनको पढ़ना है और इस पर बेस्ड 4 क्वेश्चंस पूछे गए, ये करना है आपको, इन्हें करना होगा. फिर उसके बाद ये रहे शॉर्ट क्वेश्चन आंसर, इन्हें आपको करना होगा. फिर उसके बाद ये रहे आपके लॉन्ग क्वेश्चन आंसर, इन्हें भी आपको करना होगा. ये रहे हमारे सेल्फ असेसमेंट के क्वेश्चन आंसर. तो गाइस मिलते हैं हम लोग एक नए चैप्टर के क्वेश्चन आंसर के साथ. तब तक के लिए टाटा बाय बाय, टेक केयर.